You're paying for Netflix every single month. Maybe it's 15 bucks, maybe it's 22. You scroll for 20 minutes, pick something random, fall asleep halfway through, and wake up still subscribed. Here's the thing though. That company quietly pulling money from your account every month without you even blinking might actually be one of the smartest investments sitting right in front of you. Or it could be a seriously overpriced stock dressed up in great headlines. Most people have absolutely no idea which one it is. Let's find out. My name is Ricky, and I spend way too much time thinking about where money actually goes. If you're someone trying to figure out whether individual stocks are worth your attention, you're in the right place. Hit subscribe, give this a thumbs up if it helps. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's be honest about something. Most of us first heard about investing in Netflix the same way. A friend brought it up, or you saw it trending, or you just noticed, hey, I literally use this thing every single day. Shouldn't I own a piece of it? That feeling makes complete sense. There's actually a name for it. It's called familiarity bias, and it's one of the most common traps in investing. We see a brand we love, and our brain automatically assumes it must be a good stock. Here's the thing though, loving a product and profiting from its stock are two completely different conversations. Think about BlackBerry back in 2008. Everyone had one. The brand felt untouchable, absolutely everywhere. The stock lost over 90% of its value within a few years. Now, I'm not saying Netflix is BlackBerry, not even close. But that instinct, that I use it so I should own it feeling, that's what we need to examine before a single dollar moves. Because right now, Netflix stock is not cheap. We're talking about a company trading somewhere around $500 to $550 per share as of early 2026. And the question isn't just, can I afford a share? The real question is, what am I actually buying when I buy that share? Most people skip that question entirely. They see the stock going up, they hear someone mention it at work, they open their brokerage app, and just buy. No research, no context, no understanding of what the numbers actually mean. Look, I get it. Researching stocks feels like it's for finance guys in suits, not regular people just trying to grow their money. But here's what I want you to understand. The basics, the stuff that actually matters, are not complicated. Once you see them clearly, everything changes. Here's what most people believe about Netflix as a stock. Big company, popular product, must be a safe investment. And look, that logic isn't completely wrong, but it's dangerously incomplete. Here's what people don't realize. By the time a company is famous enough for you to hear about it at a dinner table, most of the explosive growth has already happened. Netflix in 2015 was a completely different animal. You could have bought shares at around $100. Today, we're talking 500 plus. That 500% run already happened without you. So the question now isn't, is Netflix a great company? It probably is. The question is Netflix a great stock at this price, right now, for someone investing fresh money in 2026? Those are completely different questions. And this is where most people's thinking needs a serious upgrade. A great company can be a terrible investment if you buy it at the wrong price. Think about it like buying a house. A beautiful home in a great neighborhood, listed at double what it's worth, is still a bad deal. The house is fine, the price is the problem. That shift from, is this a good company, to, is this a good price for this company? That's the shift that separates people who actually build wealth from people who just follow the headlines. So let's talk about how you actually evaluate a stock like Netflix. First thing you look at is something called the PE ratio, price to earnings. Sounds technical, but the concept is simple. It tells you how much you're paying for every dollar of profit the company makes. As of early 2026, Netflix is trading at a roughly 40 to 45 PE ratio. In plain English, you're paying $45 for every $1 of annual profit Netflix generates. Compare that to the S&P 500 average, which historically sits around 20 to 22. Netflix is priced at roughly double the market average. That's not automatically bad, but it means the market is expecting Netflix to grow, significantly and consistently for years to come. If that growth happens, patient investors get rewarded. If it slows down, that high price becomes a real problem. Here's the thing to remember. When a stock is priced for perfection, one bad quarter isn't just disappointing, it's expensive. So before you buy any stock, check the PE ratio, compare it to the market average, and ask yourself honestly, is this company priced for perfection? Because if it is, there's very little room for error. Now, the PE ratio alone doesn't tell the whole story. You also need to look at where the actual money is coming from. Here's what's changed recently at Netflix. Their revenue in 2025 came in at roughly $39 billion. Profit margins are expanding, and the ad-supported tier is pulling in over 70 million monthly active users. That's not a small number. The password-sharing crackdown worked. The cheaper ad plan worked. Subscriber growth pushed past 300 million globally. These are genuinely good signs. But here's what most people miss. Netflix's stock price has already priced in most of that good news. The market isn't slow. When results improve, prices move fast. So by the time you're reading the headline that says, Netflix had a great quarter, the stock has already moved. That's why buying based on recent good news is almost always too late. You're not getting ahead of the story, you're reacting to it. The investors who win think ahead of the headline, not behind it. Let me show you two people and how this plays out differently. First, meet Simone. Simone started buying Netflix shares in early 2023, when the stock sat around $300. She didn't go all in, $200 a month, consistently, regardless of what the market was doing. By late 2025, her average cost per share was around $320. With the stock now above $500, she's sitting on gains of over 50%. She didn't time the market perfectly. She just stayed consistent and gave it time. Now meet Darius. Darius actually did his homework on Netflix, read articles, watched a few videos, felt genuinely confident about the company. He invested $4,000 in early 2026, near the recent high. Then the stock pulled back 15% on a slightly disappointing earnings report. Nothing fundamentally broken, just slightly below what analysts expected. But watching $4,000 shrink to $600 in a few weeks, that's hard to sit with. Darius sold, locked in the loss, and told himself individual stocks weren't for him. Same company, same research, completely different outcome. The difference wasn't intelligence, it was timeline and the ability to hold through discomfort without reacting. Here's what this shows us. Netflix might be a perfectly reasonable investment for some people, but it depends entirely on your entry point, your time horizon, and your emotional discipline when things dip. If you need that money within 12 months, individual stocks are probably not your game right now. If you're thinking 5 to 10 years out, the math starts looking a lot more interesting. Know your timeline before you buy anything. Okay, stop for a second, because here's something most people completely miss when they think about Netflix as an investment. You're not buying a streaming company. You're buying a data and advertising company that happens to make great content. Let me explain. Netflix's ad-supported tier now has 70 million monthly active users globally. 70 million people watching ads, and advertisers are paying premium rates to reach those users because Netflix knows exactly what you watch, when you watch it, how long you stayed, and what made you click play. That data is extraordinarily valuable. This is where it gets really interesting. Netflix is slowly building something that looks less like HBO and more like a version of Google, a platform that monetizes attention at massive scale. Most casual investors hear Netflix and immediately think streaming wars, Disney Plus, content spending. And look, those are real concerns, not dismissing them, but they're missing the bigger shift happening underneath all of that. The advertising revenue model is still in its early stages. If Netflix grows that ad business to even a fraction of what YouTube generates for Google, we're talking about a fundamentally different earnings story over the next 5 to 7 years. Now, I'm not saying that's guaranteed, but here's what most people don't realize. The Netflix you're looking at today, is not the same company it was 3 years ago. It's not just a subscription service anymore. It's becoming a multi-revenue platform, and the market is only partially pricing that in. That doesn't make it a screaming buy, but it does mean the long-term case is stronger than the surface-level headlines suggest. Always look at what a company is becoming, not just what it currently is. Here's the mindset shift that changes everything. Most people treat stocks like lottery tickets. Pick one, wait a few months, and either you won or you lost. That's not investing. That's gambling with extra steps. Real investing, the kind that actually builds wealth, looks completely different. It's boring, it's patient, and it requires thinking in years, not weeks. Here's a simple way to think about the numbers. $5,000 in Netflix today, at around $530 a share, gives you roughly 9 shares. If Netflix grows earnings at 12% annually over 10 years, which is actually a conservative estimate for a company at their stage, that $5,000 could reasonably become $12,000 to $15,000. Not a guarantee, markets are unpredictable, but the point isn't the exact number. The point is, time does the heavy lifting, not timing. And most people get those two things completely backwards. They try to time the market and end up missing the time in the market. There's actually research on this. Studies consistently show that the average investor underperforms the market, not because they pick bad stocks, but because they buy and sell at the wrong moments. They sell when it drops. They buy back when it's already recovered. Every emotional reaction costs them. That line is worth sitting with for a second. It's not bad stock picks that kill most portfolios. It's bad timing driven by emotion. So if you're seriously thinking about Netflix, the first question isn't, will it go up this year? The real question is, do I believe in this company's ability to grow and adapt over the next decade? If the honest answer is yes, and the price makes sense relative to that growth, a small, consistent, long-term position could make real sense for you. But if you're hoping to flip it in 6 months, just don't. All right, let's bring this together. Netflix is a genuinely strong company with improving fundamentals. Subscriber growth is real, margins are expanding, the ad business is just getting started. But the stock is not cheap. A PE of 40 to 45 means you're paying a premium and betting on significant future growth. That's not a deal breaker, but go in with your eyes open. The familiarity bias trap is real. Loving the product doesn't make the stock a smart buy. Entry point matters. Timeline matters. Emotional discipline matters most. Simone did well not because she was smarter than Darius. She just started earlier, stayed consistent, and didn't flinch when it dipped. And the bigger picture, Netflix is quietly becoming something much larger than a streaming service. The advertising play, the data advantage, the global scale, that's the story most people are sleeping on. So if you're considering it, do the homework. Check the valuation, know your timeline, and remember this. The investor who wins isn't the one who finds the perfect stock. It's the one who stays in the game long enough for the right decisions to compound. Look, I want to be straight with you. I'm not here to tell you to buy Netflix stock. That's not something I'd ever do without knowing your full financial situation, your income, your timeline, your risk tolerance. Anyone who tells you exactly what to buy without knowing any of that isn't someone you should be listening to. What I am here to do is give you the tools to think clearly. Because here's the thing, most people either panic buy because something is trending, or they avoid investing entirely because it feels too complicated. Both of those are expensive mistakes. The goal is somewhere in the middle, curious, informed, patient. Someone who does the homework, checks the numbers, understands what they're buying, and then makes a calm, confident decision. That's the investor who actually wins over time. If this video helped you think about Netflix differently, or just helped you think about stock evaluation more clearly in general, that's a win. Drop a comment below and tell me, are you currently invested in Netflix or watching from the sidelines? I read every single one, genuinely. And if you want more breakdowns like this, real companies, real numbers, no hype, hit that subscribe button. New video every week. I'm Ricky, and I'll see you in the next one.